Hello, shipmates. The Gunny here. Today, I think I'll tell you a little story about my first real act as a first sergeant. So, one of the jobs of the first sergeant is to, when one of the young warriors gets himself in trouble, you have to read him his rights. And it's basically what you hear on TV. You have the right to remain silent, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I had just picked it up and had not been assigned to a unit yet. I was with the holding company. The 2nd Marine Division was getting ready to go to war. I mean, part of them were already deployed to Iraq, other part wasn't, but they were going. And when I say 2nd Marine Division, I'm not talking about a battalion. There's only 3 active divisions in the Marine Corps. All right, and 1st Marine Division, 2nd Marine Division, everybody went. So anyway, so I'm waiting, and got a phone call one day, and they needed a first sergeant down at division headquarters. And the reason being, the first sergeant they had a some sort of eye surgery, so he couldn't read all the paperwork. So this was my first official reading of the paperwork, the right to remain silent, blah, blah, blah. So I drive down to division headquarters, go through everything it takes to get into division headquarters, and find my way into the office, and there's about 15 devil dogs waiting to have their rights read to them for miscellaneous infractions of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I will say most of them seem to be drugs, as I recall. But anyway, I'll come down to it. Now, a few years prior, when we were going to Desert Storm, and I was a young sergeant, shortly thereafter, one of the sergeants that had mysteriously disappeared from our company and then was back when we got done with the war, he had gotten some trouble. And let me sum it up like this. And this is what sums up for these young Marines that I had to read the rights to. But he'd gotten some trouble, and he had called his lawyer, and he says, "Am I really in trouble for this?" And he said, let me put it to you this way. The 2nd Marine Division is going to war, and you're not. So what does that tell you on whether you may be in real trouble or not? So, get back to my story at hand, and this was around 2003. So, I get to I read the rights, and then you have to read the offense. And I'll never forget this one young devil dog. And bear in mind, I don't know any of these guys. So normally, a company first sergeant will know the person, and so I don't know any of them. And as I read his different offenses, he's been caught with drugs, and he's drug paraphernalia. And one of the things in the list of drug paraphernalia was a paper towel or toilet paper cardboard filled with fabric softener. Now, I wasn't naive, but needless to say, at this time I had 20 years in the Marine Corps. I hadn't done anything, for 20 years. But I thought I was hip to everything. And I read this, and it just stops me. And I look up and I say, "Devil dog, what the hell's the deal with this toilet paper roll and fabric softener?" And the warrior, he looks at me and says, "Well, First Sergeant, don't you know if you take a toilet roll dispenser and fabric softener and put in it, and then you take a hit on your marijuana and blow through there like that, it takes the smell away. After I realized what I had just done, I said, devil dog, remember that part when I was reading you your rights about you have the right to remain silent? I'm going to forget that I asked you that question, but I want you from this point on to remember the right to remain silent. Because as I read your 2 or 3 paragraphs of offenses, I might get stumped again, but I don't want to know. So, that's the end of this story. It's just always been an amusing story to me, and I thought I should share it with you. So, Semper Fi. I'll try to do another one for tomorrow. And if you like, tune in. I post them at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like and subscribe. Semper Fi, and I love you.